The novel unfolds with 17-year-old girl Stella Grant decorating her hospital room with drawings made for her by her elder sister Abby. Stella is suffering from cystic fibrosis and she is upset now because of two reasons. First is she is thinking of the consequences of her hospitalization on her recently divorced parents, and second is that she is missing her trip to Cabo with her best friends. Okay, so now in an attempt to divert her mind, she keeps everything aside and prepares to make a video for her YouTube channel, on which she keeps a record of her life and illness. Moreover, she learns that her other best friend, Po, a teenage boy, also has CF and is also in the same hospital. The other main character of the story, Will Newman, a 17-year-old boy, has also just checked in. He has CF as well and is irritated by her mother for taking him from hospital to hospital in search of the best treatment. But he don't want any treatment and needs to venture the world. In addition to CF, he also has a condition called B. cepacia, which will exhaust his lung function rapidly, and he is ineligible for a lung transplant and is far more dangerous than Stella and Po. Stella dislikes the way Will breaks the hospital rules and denies the treatment, but despite this, the two develop an interest in one another. Will has given up all the hopes on getting better, but Stella convinces him to follow the treatment and organizes medication for him. She encourages him to take his pills, and the two of them have started taking medications and doing exercises together. They wander the hospital, yet they are consistently careful to keep the 6 feet of distance between them. Although one of the nurse named Barb tells Will to stay away from Stella because he can infect her with B. cepacia. But Stella refuses to let him go. She tells him that CF has taken so much from her in the past that she will not let it take him too. Will discovers that Stella is still lamenting the death of her older sister and best friend Abby. She died a year ago in a diving accident on her trip. Stella blames herself for her demise because she was supposed to go on the trip with her but could not go because of the CF. Also, Stella's parents have divorced under the strain of one daughter's death and another's chronic illness. So now Stella and Will, they both share their stories and at this stage have started liking each other. Will is turning 18 and Stella organizes a surprise birthday party for him where she invites Po, Will's friends and her best friends at the hospital. They all enjoy until Barb, the nurse, catches them and sends them to their room. The reason behind Barb's behavior is that she watched a pair of young lovers with CF die years earlier because they ignored their 6-foot boundaries, and she don't want to repeat the same scenario with Will and Stella. Still, Will and Stella date each other, and Stella decides that if they are careful to keep themselves disinfected and wear sterile gloves, they can keep a separation of 5 feet instead of 6. She carries around a pool stick 5 feet in length, so they both can measure their limits. One day suddenly, Po dies, leaving Stella to grieve for another person close to her. At this stage, she realizes that she no more wants to stay in hospital and now she wants to live her life. So amidst the night, she and Will escapes from the hospital for a date, and meanwhile she receives a text message saying new lungs have arrived for her. She doesn't respond to it as she wants nothing more than to be with Will. So Stella keeps her phone back and started enjoying, but accidentally she falls through ice on a frozen pond. And Will is forced to give her CPR. Back at the hospital, Stella denies to take new lungs as she knows that she will not be permitted to see Will if she undergoes the procedure, but Will requests Stella to have a lung transplant and she reluctantly agrees. When she wakes up after the procedure, she finds that Will has decorated her room with lights and is standing outside the window and is calling her on the phone to apprise her that now it's not safe for them to be together. So he is bidding her goodbye and then he tells her to close her eyes as he don't want her to see him going. And then he leaves the hospital. 8 months later, Stella's new lungs are working well and she's enjoying good health. Her parents have also reunited. Will and Stella both see each other at the airport. They are going on a separate trip with their friends and are boarding the same flight. They smiled at each other from 5 feet apart.